So where we left off, we had tested thresholding and blob finding, and it looked something like this. But depending on what value you're using for your threshold, you might have a lot of this noise, and the edges here are messed up. So that's going to like really affect your clustering, as you can see. Like before, I was finding the mice really well, and now my clustering looks terrible. So the first piece of advice is don't just find a threshold that's pretty good. Think about how you could really carefully find the absolute best threshold. You don't have to do it automatically. You can do it, you can figure it out yourself. If you want to, you can look in the extra resources, and I'll have some advice about how you can figure out how to set your threshold dynamically depending on the input image, which is fancy. So I'm going to set it back to 200. And you'll see it's not quite perfect at 200, but there's something else that you can do that's a standard way of removing noise. So this is pretty good, but you'll see that I've still got a little speck here, and I've got some down there. So another technique for removing noise, let's stop blob finding. Let's add a blur. So if I have a box blur, well, let me show you the difference between box blur size 3 and a box blur size 9. So here you can see it's not a whole lot blurrier necessarily with size 3. Here, let's go all the way to 11. So if I do size 11, you'll see, so now it's quite a bit blurrier. You'll also notice that we're not getting some border pixels, which is okay. So I'm going to go back to size 3 again. So if you blur before you threshold, think about what that means for a minute. What it's going to mean is that pixels in regions where it's all white, you're going to be blurring white with white, so it's just going to be white. Regions where there's noise, like right here, if your kernel's large enough, you're going to be blurring white with the gray background. And so that's going to make the grays lighter, and it's going to make the white more gray. But then if you threshold, now maybe this white is below your threshold, so it's not actually turning white anymore. So you can see here with a size of 3, I still have this little speck here. But if we go to a size of 9, for example, I'm hoping the speck is going to go away. Yep, so with the size of 9, the speck went away. And you'll notice that the little bits of the tail went away also. We're still not getting this stuff down here. But you are totally free to do anything that you want to do to try. You're not allowed to edit the original images. But other than editing the original images, you're free to do whatever you want in code. Use whatever filters you want. You can make up some filters that seem like cheater filters, because they're probably not. Like, check with me, but, like, solve this problem however you're able to solve the problem. Good luck.